Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, of great millstone, following this truth from them well. Peace hath tasted 144,000, and the rest of the 1/3, the large multitude, unto you I say shalom. Come to you back with another lesson through the Spirit. And the title for this was going to be Division is Increasing Among These People. Because now we're in those times where that great divide is starting to take place. Especially the separation of the elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, the remnant, and the rest of the 2/3 of Israel, which are set for destruction. But also these heathens are being divided. From Esau, Edom, the America, United States being divided against Russia, Russia being divided against Ukraine, and all these other European countries being divided, and pretty much is Esau's kingdom being divided among themselves. And what that's going to lead to is to that fall and destruction of this Edomite, the self-proclaimed white man. But also there's division amongst the people, from Republican against Democrat. People who took the jab versus people who didn't take the jab. People who were wearing masks versus people who weren't wearing masks, and all sorts of crazy ways to be divided about. But that's the times we're in, because ultimately we're getting close to that evil time, to Jacob's trouble, martial law, the mass implementation of the MOTB. But ultimately it's all Yahweh Bashim Shai putting it upon the spirits of these people to become divided, because eventually there's going to be a civil war, there's going to be a race war, and there's going to be that third world war. Ultimately to lead the way to this beast system being fully established. Esau, Edom, finally fulfilling, the fullness of his blessing. But first, there's going to have to be a great divide among these people. And we're starting to see that. We're starting to see these families being torn apart. Especially during the pandemic, a lot of families became distant because they didn't take the jab. Some of their family members did, and then some of them didn't. So how much more in the times we're about to come into? The mass implementation of the MOTB. A lot of our family members, they're going to go down to take it, ultimately because they didn't have faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They had faith in this wicked and corrupted system ran by this devil Esau Edom. So I'm going to get this first scripture. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing sin ramping up. YNs getting worse by the day. Constantly taking out their own brother, their own Israelite brother. And that's mainly the ones who are committing, these drive-bys, these hits. It is our own people. The nation of Israel, comprised of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, especially here in the soils of America. You got YNs. You got the northern tribes constantly taking each other out, because those are the times that we're in now. That great division, the love of many waxing cold. You have people being divided over the elections a couple months ago. You voted for Donald Trump. Some people voted for Kamala Harris, and that was just another reason to create more divide, because ultimately this devil Esau Edom wants people to become divided amongst themselves. But the ones who aren't going to become divided are going to be the remnant, the hopeful elect. Those hopeful elect members, they're becoming closer, forming that tight knit constantly becoming closer because of the evil times we're about to come into. So I'm gonna get this next scripture. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what we're starting to see now. We're starting to see brother fight against brother. We're starting to see nation fight against nation. Russia versus Ukraine, China versus Taiwan, Israel versus Iran, and eventually, once this whore steps in, America, Babylon the Great, that's what's going to create that battle of Armageddon down in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. And that's where all these countries are eventually going to get judged by Yahweh Shai, by the way of fire. But first, we have to see all these smaller race wars, civil wars take place, which could eventually break loose, at any given moment because we're in those times. We're seeing, especially here in the Souls of Babylon, all these different gang members, these gangs fighting against each other. But eventually, it's going to get to that point where there's going to be that great race war. All these gangs, they're going to put the differences aside. Eventually, to fight this devil Esau Edom is going to be that civil war and that great race war. This is Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And who are those that fear the Lord? Are the nation of Israel. But on this side, the elect, the 1/3. Verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out their houses. That's eventually the times we're about to come into, that we're starting to come into, because we're starting to see the collapse, the fall of this devil Esau Edom's kingdom. It's crumbling, and these people are bugging out, ultimately because they don't have no knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, like in Isaiah 33 and 6. Knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of thy times. And that's something that 2/3 of our people don't have. So when all hell breaks loose, they're eventually gonna go full on mode lunatic. They're gonna go down to their neighbors' houses and take their goods, because there's not gonna be any food, water. There's gonna be that great famine setting upon the souls of Babylon the Great, America. People aren't gonna regard their governments, their politicians, their mayors. They're not gonna they're gonna disregard their police departments. Eventually, because every man's gonna be, for themselves. So I'm gonna get this next one. This is Mark chapter 13 and verse 12. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death. Verse 13, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, and he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That's what we're starting to see. We're starting to see family members taking each other out, especially these damn Edomites, because they lost their job, and then they off their whole family, and then they off themselves. We're starting to see that in a lot in numbers. It's starting to become more common. But also our people, the nation of Israel, they're starting to do the same thing because they're bugging now. They're seeing that the society is failing. They're seeing that the economy is collapsing. So their only way out is by taking their own life and their loved ones. because they don't want to go through the perilous times we're about to come into. And a lot of our people, they're gonna give us up, in this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, ultimately to try to save themselves. But ultimately, what they're not counting on is that they're giving up, the hopeful elect to the authorities is gonna lead to having blood on their hands. This next one, this is Luke chapter 12 and verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will it be? What will I, if it be already kindled? And that's ultimately what Yahweh Shai is going to come to do upon the planet Earth. He's not coming to give out lollipops, candy, and chocolates. No, he's coming to judge the wicked of this planet Earth. Starting with 2/3 of our wicked ass people. And to jump down to verse 51, Luke 12 and 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. And that's what we're starting to see. We're starting to see division. We're starting to see the peace slowly going away. But ultimately, when all hell breaks loose, that's when we're gonna see the peace that we see. People doing their regular routines, going to work, going to these jobs, going out shopping. That's eventually all gonna come to a halt. When that great famine hits, when the implementation of the MOTB commences, that's when that great division is really gonna take place. Who's really, his elect, and who's really part of the 2/3? Verse 52, far four from henceforth there shall be five in one house divided, three against two, and two against three. Verse 53, the father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. And we're already starting to see all these great divisions take place amongst the nations of Israel, and the Israelite families, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. How much more when the great famine commences? When there's no food in the house, no water. That's when people are really going to show their true colors of who they really are. But right now, they may not show it. Some of them might show it, but not to that full extent. When the ribs are going to be touching their stomach, that's really when they're going to show their true colors and how far they're willing to go, to just put some food in their stomach. But that's pretty much the point. I pray this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, following this true from the well. Peace, salutation, 144,000, and the rest of the 1/3, the large multitude, unto you I say Shalom.